Okay, so I'm saying really common knowledge that you already know. So this is the second PowerPoint. So this is what we studied, the silk cultivation of a silk moth. So in this picture, do you have any question? Which part you don't understand? Maybe it was such a philosophical question. So what I am saying is you need this cocoon. You don't need any of the fly. You only need the cocoon, the white cocoon. That's what we need. And then the caterpillar changes into pupa, and we interrupt this so that we collect this. And then, but if you don't have an intervention from this cycle, eventually the little pupa supposed to be adult moth fly and die soon. Moth doesn't live long, right? So that's the cycle. But human beings intercept this cycle. So thousands and thousands of cocoons are taken away. They don't want the pupa to be a moth. But then naturally there are so many.
No, pupa.
Oh, sorry, my son corrected me. They said the pupa. Thank you. So it's a pupa is going to be collected and used. So it looks like this. You see this picture? So you get the pupa and then you boil them in a hot water, and then you eliminate cooked or dead pupa out of the cocoon, and then you use the cocoon just to make the thread. And then, so these are Chinese watercolor painting that shows how to cultivate silkworms. So you need many mulberry trees, and you can see all the way in the background, you can see a forest of mulberry trees. You collect leaves, so people bring the leaves home, and then they put the leaf on the top, and then these caterpillars grow and grow, right? And then eventually they make these cocoons, but you interrupt in the middle so that you don't want the fly. Or sometimes you waited, but then they boiled it in the hot water in order to make a cycle faster. But it's more like apartment living, right? For silkworms too. So you make these many shapes, and in it you grow them. And then once they are grown, you are going to dry that cooked cocoon, and then out of it you create thread, right? Like a filament becomes a thread. Threads are collected and go here, so they are dry. Or you can make that thread collection into some colorful threads, right? And then you have a weaver's studio. And then once it's woven, then they are going to dry like this. This one is in order to prepare for the thread to be installed into the weaving machine. And then once it's all ready, you are going to set it. So that's the watercolor. And then, as I mentioned, rami and hemp coming out of this kind of plant. So this is a hemp plant, and this is rami plant. Rami plant looks a bit like a basil trees. So stalks are really thin, and then you get this, and then you don't need the green part. You need right under the green part. So if you eliminate the green stalk, then you will have the white part. So that's what becomes a fiber. Can anybody talk about the banana fiber? Anybody familiar with it? Do we have students from the Philippines in this class? I guess not. In South East Asia, especially as you see in the case of the Philippines, banana leaves are all fiber, or alum trees that we are going to see a little bit, or wisteria trees can also give a fiber. Not a lot, but some. So these are contemporary fiber plants where you get the fiber out of. So East Asian culture, we have rainy hemp, but in European culture, you have a flax, and then some hemp, and then kapok, and then agave. These are tropical, right? And then in East Asia, you can also use the bamboo trees for some sort of fiber. Cotton is a bit later. When did the Chinese people use the cotton? From the Mongol period and so forth. So these are different names of seed fiber, bast fiber, and then hard fiber, and then regenerate fiber. So I heard usually it's a bast fiber that, let's say, hemp and rainy are classified into. So in Philippines, they created this national dress for men called the Barong Tagalog, made out of banana fabric shirt originally. So it's transparent. Anybody who has a question?
I do. I think I learned about banana fibers in one of my other classes, and I think isn't it supposed to be more sustainable than like cotton and silk, but it has like the silky shine, like the shine like silk.
And who's this? Can you tell me your name?
Alisa.
Oh, Alisa. Okay, yeah. Thank you for telling me. So right now, when we talk about sustainability, cotton, the way it's grown in India or Egypt, they use a lot of water and other resources in their community. So that's why they call it banana is more sustainable in terms of resources poured into production. But if you have to think of that quantity, right? Like how much textile you need. If you think about the quantity, banana is very small in quantity in the production. So still, we cannot get rid of cotton. So that's why we try to use that regenerated fiber. So cotton, all the cottons can be reproduced, right? Anyhow, those kind of. But thank you for explaining. Which class did you learn about banana fiber, Alisa?
I'm a TDM major, so I think it was in
wow.
classes.
Okay. Very good. So you are our expert. Not witness, you are expert contributor. Anyhow, talking about alum bark, right? Alum tree. Like, do you have alum tree in your backyard? It may grow well in Long Island, upstate New York, right? These areas. So like an oak tree, we have alum trees, right? Anyhow, Hokkaido, the northernmost island in Japan, because the weather is cold, it's almost like a Massachusetts, Maine type of weather. So this group, Ainu tribes, they use the alum bark to create this type of textile. So it has a cotton applique. So the black part is cotton, and then they use their own embroidery stitches, right, to intensify. But the yellow part here, these are alum bark fiber. So you have these examples of it. And then cotton in China is from the Mongol Empire, and then shortly after Korea and Japan will get the cotton plant and grow. But the original place is Central Asia. And then eventually it spread to Latin America or the North America and India, so forth. And these are new. So all the other plants, these are explained in the first half of the class, right? And then I want to talk about the straw. So this was not written there, but where do you get the straw? Any comment?
It's like dry grass, right? Or is it like
dry grass, or do you know the weed that grows along the river, right? Weeds, or grains. If you have barley or if you have rice, you know, those grains, they grow, you know, on top of this like a stalks, and then you have the little grains, you know, here. So after the harvest season, they save all of these straws, and you make it dry, and then you can create a rope. Do you see the rope here? Or you can make a hat, or you can, sometimes they use it bamboo strips, and then you can make shoes. So these are what is it? Stock shoes. It's in Korean word. It's called jipshin. Here, jipshin, and these are shoes for ordinary citizens. Whenever I see this jipshin, it reminds me of. Do you know Tams? Wasn't it very popular like 2 summers ago? Do you remember
oh yeah,
Tams?
sounds like great. I used to have so
Yes.
many of those.
Right. So what the sole is made of?
Straw.
Yeah, so same thing. So you know, whenever I saw that, oh, that's like a Egyptian, you know, more variation. So that is what ordinary citizens wore. You can make shoes out of silk, not the sole part, you know, the on top of a fit part, or leather. But obviously, those are expensive, and these are more like a craft items. So the ordinary citizens in Korea, they wore the Egyptian. But in Japan, they made wood sandals. And this is a straw raincoat. So even today, if you go to the Jeju Island, the southernmost island, this works. These are natural shape of the straw. So you just connected them on the top. It looks more like brushes. And then you have double layers. And then in order to even make it more durable, you can brush them with oil, right? Then oil absorbing the straws are not water permeable, so it's very good. The water will drop off. So maybe one of you can create a 21st century version of this kind of raincoat, right? Sustainable and durable, but these are disposable. Like you wear probably one season and it goes away, going back to the nature, right? And then this is a felt. Remember the felt? So this is as early as 1000 BCE from Central Asia. Chechen is part of Russia at the moment, but to Central Asia, we discovered a mummy. So if you see the man's clothes here, or a baby mummy, these are all made of not the cloth, like the rope, and then the hat. These are made of felt. So very old material. As long as you have, let's say, goat, sheep, or horse, or you know, any kind of short-haired animals, then you can create the felt. And then paper. Do you remember? Paper is a very important source. Mulberry trees. So this particular armor is currently kept at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's Korean 18th century example. And it's a padded. I have another picture. Oh, you can see the thickness of it, right? So the cloth is a hemp cloth, and then the lining is also hemp. But in between, they put pieces of paper, many pieces of paper. This one too, it's like a vest. You have a side ties, but it's also as thick as this helmet over here. So paper is embedded inside, so it is protective from the spear. And then they use the combination of cotton and hemp, but then there's a lot of paper inside.